So I come from school. I just my uniform. It would be quicker to just go in my uniform. So I had my uniform on. So I was wearing my uniform, and I packed. So I removed my school books from my bag, and I quickly pack my school bag with change of clothes for the weekend. So I will normally go up on a Friday, and then I will be back down on a Sunday afternoon, or I would be down early Monday morning. Now, my dad used to work for the Gleaner company. He used to drive all around and the banana board. So sometimes we will come down on the Gleaner bus. So the Gleaner bus would leave like 12 o'clock in the night and drop Gleaner all around the country and then drop us home. So sometimes we leave Kingston 1 a.m. and then we will reach, by the time it finished dropping Gleaner around the parishes, by the time it reached Runaway Bay, St. Anne, heading up to Brownstown, it would be like 7 in the morning. So we'll be just in time for school. There are certain days in life that you remember as if it happened yesterday. You remember the little things, the ordinary things, the things that seems completely unimportant at the time. For me, one of those days was the morning, well, not necessarily morning, but early evening, mid-afternoon, that I left Brownstown St. Anne. I was just 16 years old. Like many people my age, I had dreams, plans, and my whole future ahead of me. That day felt like any other day. I woke up expecting to be an ordinary journey. Went to school, do the bits that I need to do, finish at 12, went back home. Yeah, I had no idea that before the day was over, my life would have changed forever. As I think back now, almost 30 years later, I often wonder if any of us on that bus knew how precious that ordinary day really was. I don't think we did. We laughed because there was quite a bit of family on the bus. So, yeah. We laughed, we traveled, and some were heading to work. Some were going to visit family, some had appointments, some had dreams they were chasing. We were simply people going about our lives. Really, that's what it was. None of us expected that journey to become part of Jamaica's history. Looking back now, I don't just remember the journey. I remember being 16. I remember the hopes I carried, the innocence I still had, the excitement of life that comes with being young. At 16, you believe tomorrow is guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised. You don't imagine that one ordinary journey could change everything. And it did. As I tell you this story today, I don't tell you it through the eyes of the woman I am now. I also tell it through the eyes of that young girl who had no idea what lay ahead. Today, I want to honor her. I want to honor every person who boarded that bus with dreams, plans, loved ones waiting for them, and a future they expected to live. This is where my story begins. So that morning, it was like any other morning. I got up, prayed, and got dressed for school. Went to school. It was a Friday, of course, because the weekend. Went to school. Everything was great, as usual. Now, The thing is, I wasn't supposed to be on that bus alone. So, from the last time, myself, my sister, and both of my cousins decided that next time I'm going, they're coming. So, it should have been four of us boarded that bus, just like some family members that were on it. There were two sets of family that 3 member each, and there was one family that had 4 members each. So there was two twin sister and the son, one of them son. There was a cousin, two sisters and another son. And there was another family of 3. Can't think at the top of my head now. So it was supposed to be me, my sister that followed me, and 2 of my cousins. Now, when I got back home from school, Mom said my sister's not coming again. How convenient. When I called my cousin, because she was just living next door, and when I called Pat, she said she's not coming again either. I don't remember what happened, why she couldn't make it. So that just left me and my other cousin. And I remember when I left all the way to go and get my other cousin, his mom says, not today, he's not going. And, I was not so happy, because the journey should have been for 4 of us. And then at the end, God foresee what was going to happen. God knew what was going to happen. So he allowed me, the only person from my family, to go. So I remember when I went up to my auntie, because she lives not too far from school, to get my other cousin at the time. For some reason, she said he wasn't going. And no matter what I said, or, she said, no, he's not coming, not today, he's not coming. And because of that, when I went back home, I was iffy and butty if I should go or not. So this is when I asked Mom, should I still go? What should I do? And I remember she saying to me, well, it's up to you. You must know. Because I was going to see my dad. Now, it was my brother who normally goes to see my dad, but he has been doing it for some time, and I think he got a bit fed up, I would say, of going. So what happened, he brought me and showed me the way. So for some times, I am the one that has been traveling from Brownstown to Kingston to see my dad. Now, so when I went to Brownstown, because I had done all of that journey, the bus that I would normally take, it was gone. I was on the veranda at home, but I was still in 2 minds, because now we went from 4 to 1 person, which was only me. I was in 2 minds. Should I still go? Should I not go? What should I do? And I said, you know what? Let me just go. And I remember I stand on the veranda and I said, God, I'm going to Kingston, and I want you to bring me back safely. And I remember my neighbor said at the time, because they called me Terry, I remember my neighbor said to me, Terry, you don't have to ask, he will. And I said, I know, no doubt, but I still need to ask. And, so I asked. So because so much time had passed, going back and forth, who is coming with me and who is not coming with me, when I now reach, because I don't normally like driving on the minibuses, because I always say they drive too fast and they're a bit reckless. But the coaster bus that I would normally take, because of the time, at the time, it went. So now I'm stuck. If I wanted to go, I would have to get on a minibus. So what I did, I get on the minibus. Now, the place was packed as usual. It was Friday. People were going home or going to Kingston, like myself, or going home from school, because our school over a bit early, but you got school that finishes at 2. So it was that time. So the terminus was really busy. And I remember, as the conductors do, they fight for people to come on my bus, pull and drag. So yeah, that was what was happening. And when I didn't see the bus that I normally traveling, I was a bit upset, a bit annoyed, and It was a minibus. So, quite frankly, it's either I take the minibus or I go back home. Anyway, I went on the minibus, but when I was going on the bus, I held my head so low, and for some reason, I hit my head. And I said I hit my head really hard. And I can't remember if I sucked my teeth or I said, Jesus, honestly. But I said something, and because of my reaction, most people in the bus turned to look at me. I got in the bus. I think I was about the second seat to the back. I think it was. And I got on the bus and we were there. Now, this lady came onto the bus, and for some reason where she wanted to sit, the backup conductor, he wasn't the conductor, but the backup conductor had an argument with her. So you know, those should have been signs to say, get off the bus. And I also remember there was a Rasta guy on the bus, young guy. And do you know that somebody came and take him off that bus? I met him after. I remember when I meet him after, because I saw him and he was telling me, and I did remember him coming on the bus, and I did remember somebody take him off the bus. So I will leave that story for another time. So this lady had an altercation with the backup doctor. Now, he wasn't supposed to be on our bus, but because his bus had left him, he decided to come on our bus. And from he came on our bus, it was just one thing after the other, one thing after the other. So yeah. So that was it for the bus, and we were there waiting because they were waiting for a full load, because as you know, they won't really go until they get a full load. So they were waiting for a full load or enough people in the bus to move off. And we waited, and of course we pick up some people along the way, and the bus left the terminus. As I said, it was late evening, so because I finished school at 12, so it was late evening. So yeah, so we were on our way to Kingston.